Realtors, watch this before you run YouTube ads. Most agents think YouTube ads are just like Facebook and they throw money at them and just hope for the best. Some spend thousands only to get leads that go nowhere, or worse, leads they can't convert. I'm going to show you exactly what works, what doesn't, and how to avoid the mistakes that almost every agent makes. You'll see real examples of agents getting listings in as little as 2 weeks after running their first ad. By the end of this video, you'll know if YouTube ads are right for your business and how to actually make them produce results. So if you're serious about growing your listings and not wasting another dollar on the wrong strategy, keep watching. So I see agents making the same mistakes when it comes to their YouTube ads, and that's why I created the pre-sell funnel, which is what I'm going to show you. And this is how, like, Tina got a $1.75 million listing in 29 days. Jason, new listing in 28 days. Amy, 8 times ROI, 49 days. Megan had 6 listing appointments in her first month and a half. And there's plenty others as well. And by the way, at any point, if you do want me to just audit your YouTube ad strategy, check the first link in the description below and go book a call with me. But first of all, I'm going to go over who YouTube ads are best for and who really they're not for at all. So, and this is speaking from my experience, who I've seen gets the best results with YouTube ads so that you can just save your money if you're not a good fit, right? So I've seen the agents who get the best results with YouTube ads are ones who are typically doing seller production already, usually around 1 or 2 deals a month. It's not saying you have to be doing that production, but I've seen my most successful agents that I do work with are ones who are doing pretty solid production already. And it's mainly because they have a track record and they're confident in their ability on the phones, or they have a sales background. So they just have more experience with sales. So it's really for, as long as you're not looking for some magic fix, you're not looking to just some like lottery ticket that's going to make you rich overnight, then YouTube ads can work for you. But just know it's not going to be like everything's going to be on a silver platter. Everything can work out there, right? But it's all about having the right strategy, but also having the right process in place. So I don't want you going into this thinking that YouTube ads are going to be some magic fix for your business. Even with videos like you might see, oh, new listing in 13 days, 14 days, because I've had that this past week, right? But it's not, it's because the agents are actually doing what I'm going to show you. So first of all, why most realtors fail with YouTube ads? Number one, they treat YouTube like Facebook ads, whereas they try to run the same thing as everyone else. They have the same kind of copy pasted templates. They also don't have a proper funnel. So what a funnel is, and I'm going to break down my exact funnel that I use so you can just go out and steal it at the end of this video. But they send traffic to a website, or you have a landing page, but it's not optimized for mobile, as an example. That's a huge one I see, and just the messaging doesn't really add up. It needs to be very congruent with the ad. And again, I'm going to break all this stuff down. But then the big part is that you just launch without a clear strategy, right? And doing that is kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, because you're putting this money in, you're putting all this time into it. But if you don't have the right strategy or a clear strategy on what your goals are, what your timeline is, then you're not really going to get results with it. And this is the first part that I do with all agents I work with, is we map out a clear strategy, A to Z, and an exact timeline of, okay, here's when the first lead is going to come in, here's what we're going to be doing in the meantime to optimize and get better results, and here's how we're going to scale it up, get an extra 1, 2, 3, 4 listings every single month with it. Now that's why most realtors fail with their YouTube ads. Now the first mistake, or the number one mistake I should say, this is the most important mistake that I see people making by far. It is weak ad messaging. So the most important part of any YouTube ad is going to be the creative, or the ad itself, right? The video. Now there's a lot of different ways you can go about making these videos. I actually have a ton of videos on my page going through making these ads using AI. So you can go and put a prompt into ChatGPT to help you get the exact script or a winning script that works for you. Now, what I recommend doing is, first of all, I'm going to show you a bad example of what a lot of agents do and why it doesn't work. They say, hey, if you're thinking of selling a home, give me a call, contact me, or hey, just see what your home's worth. But the thing is, like this one here, this is usually never going to work to cold traffic, meaning if these people don't know who you are, they have no level of trust built with you. They have no loyalty to you at all. So unless you're Ryan Serhant, or you're targeting an audience who's already familiar with you, this can work. But otherwise, nobody's going to contact you because you haven't provided them any value up front, which is the whole point of our ad, which is what I'm going to show you. But your ad's job isn't to get someone to buy a house today or to sell their house today. It's to sell the lead magnet, to get the right sellers raising their hand. rather than coming through saying, hey, I want to sell my home immediately, right? Even though it does happen sometimes, it's not always the case. Or what people do is say, hey, just see what your home's worth. But the problem with that is first of all, it's what every other agent is running. If you've been on Facebook ads or you ran Facebook ads, if you're going after sellers, odds are you said, hey, get a free home valuation, see what your home's worth, right? Every person is the same exact thing. So how can you stand out when every single homeowner in your market is seeing the exact same ads every single day from these realtors? Right? You're positioning yourself as a commodity because you're offering the same thing as everyone else. But the other side of it as well is that they're coming through because they probably just want to see what their home's worth. You call them and they say, oh, I was just curious. I just want to know what my home's worth. I'm not actually looking to sell, right? And it's the same thing every single time. That's why you need to have a message like this where you're actually selling the lead magnet. Remember, the goal is to sell the lead magnet. It's not to get them to sell their house on the spot today. So for example, get instant access to our exclusive guide to sell your home for more and faster in Chicago, right? There's a few key things that we do here. Number one is instant access. You're putting a time frame on it. People want the value quicker rather than later. You make it seem exclusive, right? Our exclusive guide. And then you say to sell your home. So you're mentioning that this is for sellers. That's another thing, that you're disqualifying anyone else who's not looking to sell, who's not your target audience. And then you're putting benefits on it. So for more and faster. And then you're also making it hyper localized to make it even more relevant to them. So hey, get instant access to our exclusive guide to sell your home for more and faster in St. Paul, right? That's a lot stronger than, hey, if you're thinking of selling your home, give me a call. You can just see the differences there, the little nuances. But you need to have a strong lead magnet and make sure that you're selling it, right? You're just trying to get them to raise their hand, and that's how you can go and contact them. Because you can do this, but like if you do this, you're probably going to get maybe one person coming in a month, and they're probably not even going to be they're probably not even going to know who you are, right? Because they just saw you a couple times, all of a sudden oh, give me a call, but it's probably gonna be like $1,000 lead, and odds are it's not gonna turn into anything. So that's why you need to go this route where you're selling the lead magnet rather than trying to get them to sell their home on the spot. Now there's 3 keys to a winning YouTube ad, which is what I'm going to break down here. Key number 1 is having a compelling ad creative, which is the messaging. And this is the most important part by far. The framework for an ad, for a winning YouTube ad, is you have the hook, which is the first 5 to 10 seconds of the ad, where you're basically, I'll give you some examples for each one. With the hook, what you're doing is calling out who this is for. So if you're thinking of selling a home in St. Paul and you want to get the most money possible, watch this video. That's a hook right there. You're calling out who it's for, and you're telling them what's in it for them by watching the video. Second is the body. What you want to do in the body is, it kind of goes back to here. You're basically selling the lead magnet in the body. You're saying why this is different, what's in it for them, what are the benefits of them getting it. And then the close, this is where you have a call to action sort of like this, where you say, hey, click the button below to get instant access, and you can just plug that in. That's the close right there. But that's pretty much the framework of an ad. And you can actually go and prompt ChatGPT to go write this ad for you. If you say, hey, I'm a realtor, give it some context, as many specific details as possible. And it can go and write you an ad, say with the framework of a hook, a body, and a close. The goal is to sell the lead magnet and to identify sellers who are in the market rather than someone looking to sell their home as soon as possible. We're trying to get people to raise their hand who are serious, right? So that's the first part, and this is the most important part. Now, the second key to a winning YouTube ad is strong lead follow-up, you or your ISA, right? So a lot of agents think that YouTube ads is like an anomaly, right? It's still online leads. You're still targeting cold traffic, which means that you still need a way to follow up with them, even though they are a lot more familiar with you before they come through. Whereas a lot of my agents that I work with, they speak with these leads, and the leads are basically, by the time they go to the listing appointment, the lead is basically sold on the realtor. They're like, oh my gosh, you're the guy from the commercial, you're the guy from the YouTube ad on my TV, right? And it changes the dynamic for sure, but you still need to do a good job of following up with these leads. You need to have a process in place. I recommend having some automations to create leverage with your process. So using text automations, email automations to help you follow up. And then of course, getting on the phone with them, whether it's you or your ISA, that's the most important part. But here's 3 things you can do to actually improve your lead follow-up, and the simplest things based on the leverage that they have. So the first thing is speed to lead. This is going to be the best thing. This is going to be the single most important thing when it comes to any online leads. It's no different for YouTube leads as well. So the second they come in, you obviously don't need to call them within 5-10 seconds every time, but whether you have an ISA, an inside sales agent, or whether you are calling these leads, ideally you want them to be called within 5 to 10 minutes, ideally 5 minutes. It's not always perfect. That's also why you need automations as well, though, on the back end to also create some leverage, automate some of the messaging. But the most important thing is that these leads are being called as soon as possible, whether it's within 5 seconds, a minute, they just need to be getting called. The second thing you can do is have a proven script. So understand that this isn't a referral, right? You speak with an online lead different from a referral. And this is why a lot of newer agents who don't have sales background don't do really well with YouTube ads, is because they think they can go out and basically just say, hey, so I mean, when are you looking to sell your home? And they don't have any process in place. So I find the best agents who get the best results with YouTube ads are ones who have done lead gen before, done online leads, whether that's cold calling, they have a sales background experience, and they're closing a couple deals a month already. Because then that way you have the proven process. And if that's not you, the least you're going to need to do is focus on speed to lead and actually have a proven script, which is something that I give to all the agents I work with after what I've seen works best with these YouTube leads specifically, because they are different than a Facebook lead, than a Zillow lead, for example, right? The third thing you can do is, the third thing that ideally you want is a high conversion rate. So this is kind of it's not something you can do, but like this is really important that if you're going to do YouTube ads, that you are confident in your ability on the phone and that you have a high conversion rate. Because I have agents where we're converting 90% of the listing appointments we get, which then that makes me look better as well. But it's like if you're converting 50%, obviously that's going to have a pretty drastic decrease in the results, but even 50% is still good. Like all you need then is 2 listing appointments a month, you're going to get a listing. So that's still pretty solid as well. But it just kind of goes to show, obviously, the higher conversion rate, the better. Now, key number 3 is testing and optimizing everything. So from the ads, the landing pages, your offer, this is something barely anybody does in general. Even a lot of marketers don't split test like they should be doing. And I know because I speak with them and I help kind of coach them and mentor them on this stuff. And a lot of them just skip out on this. And it goes with agents. If the marketers aren't split testing, you got to think the realtors selling the homes aren't going to be split testing because you guys don't really have the time, right? But it's probably one of the single best things you can do for your ads and for your results. You're basically going to skyrocket the results you get if you split test, right? And if you optimize the stuff. So what I mean is, number one, the things that you can split test that have the highest increase on your results are going to be split testing the different hooks of your ad. So right here again, the hook is the most important part of your YouTube ads. The best thing you can do to split test is split testing different hooks. So what I want to do is, or what the campaign structure is. So here's your campaign, right? Campaign. And this is the structure for it. So you have, let's say we're testing 3 ads. What you want to do is have the same exact ad, but you're going to test hook A right here, hook B right here, hook C right here. So you're only changing the hook in the video. The rest of it is exactly the same though. So hook 1 could be, or hook A would be, hey, if you're thinking of selling a home in Chicago, this video is for you. Hook 2 would be, don't leave thousands of dollars on the table when you sell your home by avoiding this one mistake, or something. Or you could say, and then hook C could be, this one mistake is costing Chicago homeowners over $30,000 when selling their home. Something like that. But you see, you're hitting different angles. The only thing we're changing is the hook. The rest of the ad is exactly the same. The second best thing you can split test is the headlines on your landing page. So after someone clicks on your ad, and I'm going to show you the funnel in a second. Let's say I click on this ad right here. Here's your landing page. The headline is the main text right here that they see right when they go on the page. So it would be something based on what you say in the ad. The most important thing is that your landing page headline is congruent with what you say in the ad. So in the ad, you don't want to say one thing, then the landing page, you say something totally separate, right? You need to make sure it aligns and it's pretty unique, or not unique, but pretty congruent, right? That's very important. And then all you do is just split test this. You split test 2 separate landing pages. One landing page is the exact same, has this headline. This other landing page the exact same, but has headline B instead. And you can go and see the differences in the conversion rate, opt-in rate, all that stuff. Now, third is forms/surveys. So on your landing page, and I have videos where we build this out, but typically it's something like this. Here's the image of your lead magnet. Here's the form right here. What you can do is you can split test doing a form. You can split test doing a survey on there instead, but just that's one thing I found works well. Even what I found is when you embed the survey on the page rather than having them open it through a button or through a pop-up, the conversion rate almost doubled for one of my clients, right? So it's just simple stuff like that, because if you can make the conversion rate go from 1 to 2%, you just doubled your entire ad campaign, right? So just think about it like that. What are these little tweaks you can make to just get these exponentially better results? And that's exactly the 3 keys with YouTube ads. So having a compelling ad creative, focusing on the hook, having strong lead follow-up, and then testing and optimizing literally everything. Now what I'm going to do to wrap it up is go over the pre-sale funnel. This is the exact funnel that I developed and that I use for all these agents that I showed you right here on this page, all the agents I work with, right? So first of all, we have the YouTube ad. Second, we send them to a landing page, then to the pre-sale video, and then to the calendar page. But I just show you this so you understand the framework of how a winning YouTube ad funnel looks. You have the ad, we just broke that down. You have the landing page where you're capturing their information. Make sure you're not sending them to just your website. You have an optimized landing page that's focused on conversions. Then you're using a pre-sale video, which is basically some sort of video on the back end to just build more trust, get in front of them another time, but also try to pre-handle a lot of their objections. And what we're also doing with this video is saying, hey, if you are serious about selling a home, feel free to click the link below and use the calendar below to go book a call directly on my calendar. That way you're getting typically about 1 in 4 of the leads who come through to just book directly on your calendar as an inbound appointment. These are always the best because they're basically pre-sold on you as an agent before you ever speak with them. So those are always such high quality appointments because they're basically already know you, like you, trust you. They're basically ready to go. They just need you to kind of help them out with a couple usually logistical questions, and they're good to go. That's why I see the highest quality leads come from. Then you're literally not having to do a single reach out, right? It's basically like a referral quality lead. So that's the entire process right there. Again, to recap, we went over who YouTube ads are best for: agents who have good experience, good track records, and are confident in their ability on the phone, not looking for some magic get rich quick scheme. Now, a lot of agents fail with YouTube ads because they treat them like Facebook ads. They don't have a proper funnel and they launch without a clear strategy. The biggest mistake is the weak messaging in the ad. So again, avoid doing something like this and focus on something like this where you're being more specific, selling the lead magnet. Now the 3 keys, again, we have the ad creative, follow-up, testing, and optimization, and then we have the entire funnel right here. So before you launch your YouTube ads, make sure you have all this dialed into place. And if you want a full A to Z roadmap on exactly how to get the best results with your YouTube ads, whether you just want my feedback on it or you want to work with me, check the link below, apply to work with me. If you're doing at least 1 or 2 deals a month, I'd be happy to have a chat with you to see how this full system could implement in your business so you don't have to focus on it. You can just focus on doing what you do best, which is getting listings, selling homes. If that sounds like something you want to do, check the link below and book a call. Other than that, I hope you did get value from this. My whole goal for this channel is to try to provide you everything up front, so you don't need to ever pay someone again. You can go do it yourself. So that sounds like something you want to do. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, watch the video that YouTube recommended on the screen right now. I'll see you guys in the next one.